So today we'll be replacing a spring brake control valve. The one on my trailer, it's just consistently leaking air. Talked to a few buddies of mine and they said when it goes out, it goes out. So it's just a quick, simple fix, but just wanted to show you how to do it. In the description, I'll have the links to all the parts and the tools you'll need to be able to do the task, plus the two different type of spring brake valves. Make sure whenever you order that you have the correct one. No, if you're an old timer, you probably already know this, but a lot of my new timers and people that are just doing this themselves, you always want to use two crescent wrenches. The reason why is because you have the fitting that actually goes into the piece, and then you actually have the one that you're twisting to loosen up and come out. You want to have the counterweight to whenever you're trying to break it loose because you don't want to end up putting too much force on one side and then it snaps off that fitting, especially if that fitting is a hard to grab one, smaller ends, or anything like that, and then you're over here having to extract it or just buy a whole new piece in general. So what I like to do is I like to use two of your crescent wrenches. You use one on the back side, and this is end up how you see this is how you end up doing it, and it prevents you from snapping off a piece inside of an old part and having to extract it. No, I do want to say this as we pull these hoses off and we start to get them out of our way. Remember what order where they went whenever you take them off. So if it's a back right hose, put it in the back right. If it's a front right, put it in the front right. If you notice, both of my bottom ones here are both red, so it's not like I can color code or remember it, both the back was right or, the back was blue or something like that. So if you notice, I'm taking them off and I'm putting them wherever they go accordingly. And now let's get to these 90-degree angles. You've got to get these out the way because you can't get the T off without taking these out the way first. However, you cannot put these in the new piece yet because you have to put the T on first before you put these back in. Okay, now that I've realized I've got one side, all the hoses out of the way, I need to start getting this 90-degree elbow and this T out of my way. So I realize the only way I'm going to get the other hose off the T unscrewed is by getting this 90 out the way. But in the same time, I'm going to actually have to move the T a little bit to be able to unscrew the 90 as they touch. Now that we've got all the hoses disconnected from the T, we're going to start taking out the front connector T. Leave this one off of your new piece until after we get the back connector T off because that one actually has to be the first one that goes on or they all end up butting. This will save you from putting them all on and then having to take them all back off because you realize that, the last one that came off is actually the first one that needs to go on. Now this is the perfect example why I can't stress why you need two wrenches. If you snap this T off on the inside, you could probably go to a parts store and find another one, but it's still going to make for an awful day. That's not just a regular T right there. So I'd recommend Let's not, snap it. Use two. But also, I'm gonna leave in the description if you want to switch all these over just to quick connects, to where you don't even have to worry about that. Then that's a good option too. So I'll leave a good description in the link for a quick connect kit. They'll have everything you need. So as we get this last T unscrewed, you gotta take the top off of it real quick. But once it comes out, it's pretty simple. Uh, Wanted to infer whenever you unscrew your spring brake valve, try to count how many times it takes to unscrew it. To actually put it back on, I cut it out, but this took me about 20 different tries to get it just correct to where it was where I wanted it. So try to have it, memorize. And then if you see here, like I said, memorize where you put your hoses at so they go back a lot quicker. Once you remember where everything goes, I mean, it's just like clockwork. T's go on first, then you put on your 90s, you put on all your side angles, and then, you know, just like butter, it all slips back together. And you just watch the smooth and relaxedness of how quick and simple it all goes together. And like I said, if you wanted to do the quick connects, you could have just switched over all these. I'm still using compression fittings. If you see I have to push them in, you can reuse compression fittings as long as you're not changing the ring around them or the actual piece it's going in. So as long as there's no air leaking out of them, they're still good. I prefer compression fittings for things that you don't have to change as often. Unlike if you're doing, quick connects are for things that are like airbags and stuff like that that are gonna break and you're gonna always have to change. Do quick connects on those. But things like this, if you don't have to switch them over, I wouldn't, but if you want to switch them all over, like I said, I'm going to have a link to the spring brakes and the quick connects all in. Thank you for making it this far in the video. If you don't mind hitting that like, subscribe button, share, bring the trucking and car community and everybody together, make some videos, and spread some knowledge, teach people how to work on their own equipment. Have a great day. God bless.